And we are live. What up, players? Welcome to episode 81 of Player Life. It is Monday, the 15th of March here in Tokyo, Japan. So, who we got? We got Spark 55 in the house. What is up? What is good? Got Gabriel E. Damn, that time change. Oh, yeah, I forgot about I heard there's a time change. Did it go forward or backwards? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Javier in the house. What is up? What is up, fellow degenerates? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Problematic. What is up? What is good? Hope you all are well. Hope you are well. Forward. Gabriel says the time has gone forward. Indeed, indeed. So maybe I'll have to do my show a little earlier. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, I'm had a good day today. Had a good day. Nice weather here in Tokyo. Had a nice workout. Hung out with MLD and a few other friends. Good times indeed. Good times indeed. So yeah, I don't think much. Nothing too crazy happened at the weekend. I was actually. Yeah, no, I didn't have any hookups at the weekend. No degeneracy happened, unfortunately. These days I don't know. Even if I have a break of a few days, I don't really care. It's like I actually I was gonna have a threesome on Saturday, and so I had two girls lined up, and they were both down to do a threesome, and one of them basically hit me up. She was supposed to come over at like 8 p.m. both of them, and one of them hit me up and said they couldn't make it because they were feeling sick. So I could have still invited one of the other girls over, but she's a plate. She's been around a few times before, so I was like, decided to cancel because I wasn't. It would have been like, okay, sex is good and all, but if it's a thing where you were gonna have a threesome and then it's just like regular sex, then we'll do it again though. It'll happen. They're both down. They're both cute. It's gonna be epic. But yeah, when it comes to threesomes, you definitely have to organize them. They're not. If you want to have a threesome and you think they're just gonna happen out of the blue, it's not gonna work like that. It's not gonna happen. You need to, as a man, you need to arrange it. But it's not that hard. Once you have at least one girl that is down, and she's like reliable and she's not flaky, they're pretty easy to organize. You just find another girl that's down and you arrange a time. The hardest thing is just arranging the time because just like a time that three people will be free. But other than that, it's all good. So yeah, today I saw something in the UK where some politician talked about they wanted to make a curfew for men, and this is like so stunning and brave, and like it's like everyone thinks it's amazing, and the media think, oh yeah, it's so stunning and brave, making a 6 p.m. curfew for men. Apparently some woman was murdered, so that means that all men are now murderers, and they have to have curfews, and like it's so progressive and cool, the idea that men should have curfews. But it's just one of those things that another contradiction, because according to the people that push these kind of things, men and women are the same. There's no difference. yet men are like bad and evil, and women are these angelic creatures that never do anything wrong. Mad times. Uh, but let me see if I can get the clip up of the woman saying that. Yeah, just find it. Curfew on men UK. I'll type that in and it should come up. Let me see. Yeah. I'll share the page. Share the page. Let's see. Okay. Found it. Found it already. Let me get it. All right. So Sarah Everard, Brighton Baroness Jones defends call for 6 p.m. curfew for men. A baroness from Brighton, a baroness. What the hell is a baroness? Some royal shit. What the hell is it? Who cares about what this baroness bitch says? Anyway, a baroness from Brighton has defended her call for a 6 p.m. curfew for men after the disappearance and death of Sarah Everard. Okay. So Baroness Jenny Jones of Molescombe was speaking in the House of Lords on Wednesday evening as peers debated domestic abuse legislation. Imagine a man like came forward, like a politician came forward and said, even as a joke, that there should be a curfew on women. The media would just never let up on it. It would just be this big terrible thing where women are the victims, and like it's like even in Japan there was this thing where the mayor of a city in Japan way back, like at the beginning of the beer bug, he suggested that men should do the shopping because they don't delay and they don't hang around, and they just like kind of get the shopping done. And he was like thrown under the bus because mainly by foreign media, because Japan, anytime they try and bring these progressive woke ideas to Japan, they never really take off. But it's always the outside. It's always it's always coming from the outside, like the Guardian, like CNN, all these like woke, like bullshit media outlets. Javier says 6 p.m. curfew for men just means a 6 p.m. curfew for everyone. Yeah. They're just trying to control people more and more. John B says, "What up, Mac? Do you celebrate St. Paddy's Day?" I used to, since I was being in Japan, like, not really, to be honest. I mean, I know there's a parade in Tokyo, like there used to be, but this year is probably canceled. I'm sure it's canceled due to the, I don't know, beer bug. Even though I don't know, maybe it's not canceled. I don't know, because things are pretty normal, but some events like that might not have gone ahead. I don't know. It's really weird. I saw a parade in Tokyo, and it was just weird because there was like it was all Japanese people dressed up in green marching and stuff. It's so weird. It was really weird, but it is what it is. Rishi in the house. What up? What is good? Javier says, smash the like button. Indeed, smash the like button. It's a great help. Spark55 says, fuck that commie shit. They can shove their 6 p.m. curfew up their ass, 100%. Yeah, it's pure commie shit. And if they brought that in, people were like, that'll never happen. I'll never do that. And they fucking would. They would. People are such pussies. Like, look what happened with the whole lockdown. They implement it. They bring in the laws, and people abide by them. They do it. You can guarantee if they brought in that curfew, there'd be fucking so many little beta cucks that would obey the law. They would abide by it. They would stay home. They would go home. They would like, oh, I have to obey the curfew, for women's rights. Um, Such a bunch of pussies. Honestly, like people would be like, oh yeah, that'll never take off. Like people would get angry, and yeah, no, people are pussified, especially in Britain. God damn, like Britain, the UK is like bad enough out of spot for the old, you know, progressivism. I think you can get. I think you can get. You can get. Yeah, you can definitely get like arrested for like hate speech on the internet. Um, there was a guy. I don't know. I can't remember his name. Count Dracula. Some guy. I don't know. He's a comedian or something. I don't know what he was, but he did. I think he was just a random Twitter guy, but as a joke, it was a joke. Like obviously, he got his little dog or whatever to do a salute, like a Heil Hitler salute, as a joke, and he got like prosecuted, for like he put it on YouTube as a joke. The guy's like clearly taking the piss, um, and he got prosecuted, like has a criminal record for that. There's a bunch of things like for people misgendering people and stuff like that in the UK. I've just heard a bunch of stories where the police like visit people's houses and stuff if they said something mean on Twitter. The UK is a bizarre place, weird spot. Um, Problematic says that's what I was thinking. If there are no men out at 6, what will women do? Indeed. Um, yeah. So let's see. Um, yeah, let me go back to that page. Uh, yeah, so it's just weird. Let's see. I feel this would make women a lot safer, and discrimination of all kinds would be lessened. So it's like it's just men that are the ones that discriminate. Um, the Green Party's peers' suggestion for a curfew prompted a fierce debate online. It comes after reports the Metropolitan Police issued advice to women not to venture out alone in the part of South London where Miss Everard is from, as they knocked on doors to speak to people as part of their investigation. It's just so bizarre. Men don't understand the pressure that women are under. Baroness Jenny Jones says police don't take the harassment of women on the street seriously, as she suggests a 6 p.m. curfew for men after police reportedly advise women not to go out alone. So some guys are assholes, and some guys, tiny percentage of guys, one guy murders a woman, and then all guys should have a curfew.
I'd been sitting in a debate on domestic abuse for several days, and then the Met Police advice came through to women to stay home, and I just despaired of the police ever doing their job properly in keeping women safe, but also the whole government seems to not understand the pressure that women are under and how deeply misogyny is buried in our society.
I just want to say, like, I wonder why have these societies become so unsafe? Like, it's because, like, I think back in the day when men and women had, good relationships with each other, men would feel, obliged to protect women. But there's such kind of contempt between the sexes these days that the average guy, even though he might be a beta male and he might be, a bit of a, white knight or something like that, they would be just less inclined to like give a shit, or to protect women, or if they were in trouble. But I don't know. It's just yeah, it's like, you know, I just think it's crazy because if a man, if any man came out and said, you know, that women should have, you know, obey a curfew, then there would be such an amount of outrage. Um, it's just like it's so
And
dumb.
so I'm afraid I just spoke as I felt.
But imposing curfews on men, isn't that just inflicting on them what women have to endure, even though it's self-imposed?
Exactly. That's my exact point. That in fact, nobody makes a fuss when, for example, the police suggest that women stay at home. But when I suggest it, men are up in arms. You should see my inbox. It's full of misogynistic and racist tweets, emails to me. And I just think that men don't understand the pressure that women are under. And if this has sparked intense scrutiny, I'm really happy. I must say, by the way, two things, and that is that I'm desperately sorry for the family of Sarah Everard. I can't imagine what it's like. I've got two daughters and two granddaughters, and I feel the fear. And secondly, this idea of
I don't know. It's just like, I think the idea, you know, these womanists refuse to accept that the world is like a dangerous place. They just feel like, oh, you know, they can, you know, we should all we you know, yeah, yeah, of course we it would be wonderful if we could all just, you know, go out wherever we wanted and not have to look over our shoulders or you know, but the world is the reality of, you know, the world is much different. I mean, these you know, womanists are get hysterical over you know, pronouns and all this meaningless bullshit, and like they try and get men locked up for, like, you know, misgendering people and this, that, and the other. Yet when it comes, well, yeah, they don't understand the real world is much more dangerous. You know, there's much more real issues than that. um and I honestly think there's a huge correlation between the, you know, the advancement of womanism in Western countries and violence, uh, or, you know, making society a more unstable place. Because in Japan, where we, you know, there isn't any significant womanist movement, it's just a very safe society. It's a place where you can actually go out. Um, you know, women do. You know, women can actually. It's like women can walk alone late at night and not feel uh, threatened, but at the same time, they're, you know, the people would take care, or whatever. Women would either they would take care, and, you know, uh, but I don't know. It's just Western societies just definitely aren't that safe. And I think that's I think women has contributed to that. It's the breakdown of, you know, the relationships between men and women, and, you know, I don't know, just the disrespect for their fellow men in their society. Just unbelievable disrespect. Like we saw the, you know, we know what happened in Cologne in Germany when you know, they like, you know, when it was back in when there was the Syrian refugee crisis, and you know, uh when, you know, there was refugees coming from not only Syria but all over, you know, all over the, you know, Middle East and Africa and whatnot, and the German women welcomed, you know, welcomed all, like, I think there was over 1 million that came. That's quite a lot. And you know, German women welcomed all the refugees, and, you know, called anyone who said maybe, you know, maybe it's a bit too much, maybe we shouldn't, maybe we can't handle that many, maybe, you know, maybe we should try and resolve the conflict in Syria instead of taking in like millions. And then there was like insane amounts of sexual harassment, because I mean, like in Syria, it's not, and to be honest, it wasn't only Syrians, because um, it was, you know, from, you know, people come from societies where women don't actually have freedoms, where women can't just walk around in miniskirts and you know, wear whatever fashion they want, where women would actually have to stay home. So when these, you know, whatever you want to call them, refugees, asylum seekers, whatnot, came, they were like exposed to, like, you know, women walking around, and they sexually assaulted them. And you know, it's just, but it's just that, that's just an example to say of, you know, how you know, Western women have become so deluded about the reality of life. Uh, Matt Viking says, "How do you think this will affect day game long term? I think these things tend to blow over after a few weeks when the feminists find something else to complain about." Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, these things, yeah, it blows over, but it's just the culture isn't blowing over. Just the culture and like the damage it's actually doing to uh, the relationships between men and women on a societal scale. Like individual instances blow over, but you know, uh, like I think there'll be more instances. There'll be more, and they'll keep kind of pushing this. I think it will. I think already, like they like doing things like day game is like will has already taken a massive hit. I mean, it's just because men wouldn't feel like they're allowed to do it. They feel like that's like almost like something illegal. Like they probably feel that they're actually breaking the law by just asking a girl, like, you know, what, hey, what's up? How are you? Oh, I like your style. You know, let's have a drink sometime. A lot of guys would think that's like an illegal act, or that's sexual harassment. I do, you know, today I was just outside a convenience store, and I was just drinking a can of Red Bull. I was going to the park to do a workout, and I was just on my phone, and I saw a girl just walked up, and she kind of tripped up, and her high heel fell off, and it was kind of funny because she was like embarrassed, and she was like pretty hot, and she had to, like, she kind of stumbled and had to put her high heel back on. And then I just, you know, we locked eyes, and she looked embarrassed, and then she went into the shop, and when she came out, I said, hey, you know, I like your style. What's up? Do you speak English? And she's like, oh, eigo dekimasen. Can't speak English. And I said, oh, let's have a drink sometime. And I just said, she said, yeah, sure. So I just got her, we exchanged contacts. And that's, you know, that's day game. That's just day game. But I think a lot of guys wouldn't have the confidence to do that, because of like they'd be afraid that the girl would like scream at them or shout at them. And in some instances in Western countries, they might be right. You get some like, you know, just these bitches, like, you know, just like that would like bite your head off. But you know, you just gotta do it. You just gotta work numbers. I still think, you know, it's as of now, it's not like, you know, you're not gonna get prosecuted for asking a girl, like, or like saying hello to a girl and trying to get her number. But I mean, maybe, who knows? In a few years, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to make that illegal. Problematic says they live such comfortable lives that they have to find problems where problems don't exist. Exactly. I just think, you know, Western women had it so good. Like they had such a sweet deal. You know, they were feminine. They were They're able to get married. They're able to be housewives. They're able to, fulfill their feminine roles. Um, and they were happier. And now they threw that all away, and they're realizing now that it's like it's not, you can't have it all. You can't have it all because men and women are not the same. We are not the same. Men don't care about how much money a woman has. They don't care about what type of career she has. They don't care if she went to this university or that university. They just don't give a shit. And any guy that says he does care about that, he's full of shit. Um, you know, women throw away their best years. They throw them away. They throw them away by pretending that they're men, and they're not. They're not. They're not. We're not the same. No matter what anyone says, we're not the same. We never will be. You have all these crazy progressives saying like, it's just crazy stuff. Like, I don't know, trans women are women, and there's all this crazy shit. Like, trans women have menstruation too. Trans women bleed too. All this crazy shit. Just weirdos, like real weirdos. But yeah, just enjoy it though. Like, encourage them now. I think the best thing you can do is encourage them, and because honestly, they need to pay a price for what they need to learn. Like, they need to, because they're the ones pushing this, so they need to pay for what they have encouraged and supported and demanded. These tards actually think if they make a legal curfew that criminals would abide by it. LOL. Yeah, exactly, C. Jules. Yeah, that is exactly what it is. The same thing in America, where it's like, oh yeah, we'll confiscate all the guns, and the criminals will just hand them in. It'll make a safer society. All the criminals will just like, oh yeah. I'm just gonna give my guns up. Yeah. I'll keep all the drugs though. I'll keep all the cocaine. But yeah, I'll give in my guns, and society will be a safer place. Problematic says, in Australia we had womanists complain about the walk signals for pedestrians showing a flashing man instead of a woman. Only in Western countries do they have the luxury to complain these things. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. No offense, but like, Australian women, in my experience, they're some of the most. They're some of the worst. Some of the worst. Maybe, yeah. They're some of the worst. They're some of the most entitled, kind of obnoxious women I've ever come across. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the ones I've met. I don't know if you think that too, but I've heard. I know a good friend of mine here in Tokyo. He's Australian, and he agrees with me. he says he's never going back to live in Australia. Because of the way Australian women are. He says they're just the most condescending, obnoxious. Some of the most condescending, obnoxious women on the planet. I don't know. From my experience, I agreed with him, but maybe there's some nice ones there. I'm sure there are, but as a rule, maybe. C. Joel says, has immigration ever had a positive effect on any country that has allowed it? I don't know. I really don't know. America is certainly. I don't know. America. I mean, America has. It's multicultural, but there's positives and minuses. But America has a complicated history. I certainly don't think immigration would have a positive effect on Japan. I think every country should have a certain amount. An exchange of peoples is good to some extent, but not. I disagree. Personally, I disagree with mass immigration. Any immigration that affects the native population or the culture, if that's the case, then it's a bad thing in my opinion. And people will go on about, oh yeah, but look at what happened 500 years ago, when colonized, when countries were colonized, but now we've come through that. I don't think countries should be colonized anymore, or globalized. And yeah, I'm as I said, I'm flexible. I think there should be, like, I'm an Irishman in Japan, so like I'm not going to be like all immigration is bad, but I would obviously not. I would hate to see, but like thousands of Irish people coming to Japan. Or like Ireland's a small country anyway. But my point is, any kind of immigration that affects the demographics in a big way is terrible. It's a bad idea, and it would negatively affect Japan, I would think. Because Japan is interesting because it's Japanese. That's why I'm here. That's why I like living here, because it's Japanese. I don't like everything about it, but I like the fact that it's Japanese. And it has a certain amount of immigration, and I think I wouldn't like to see it increase. I think it's as good as it is. They take people that they need, for certain things, professionals, and but what's happening in the Western world is not good in my opinion. Like yeah. Also, like when there's large amounts of immigration coming from developing nations, it's also not good for the developing nations, because it's like a brain drain happens where the best and brightest go off and leave their home countries, and then that has a negative impact on that country itself for its development. So it's not only bad, it's just too much is bad. Simply put. Spark 55 says Australia is just as cooked as the UK. Apparently so. Australia, from what I've seen over this beer bug thing. Spark 55 says only immigration to a certain extent, not much more than that. I agree, 100%. Certain amount is good, and then once you go over that, it becomes really bad. It's not a good thing. And people have called me far right for saying that like any immigration that affects the native population in a big way is bad. The bar for being far right has never been lower, or been, I don't know. People are such pussies. People are such weakling pussies. They're just afraid. Another reason I deleted my Facebook. Like, I had a private Facebook that I had from college, and I deleted it because I would post like stuff like that. I would post like just opinions about things, because there were so many pussies on it, and I, like, from my friend groups that I would have added, like, from college years, and I kind of like to like trigger them with facts. And what really annoyed one of the things that really annoyed me is, like, people are such pussies. Like, they would never, not that I was looking for likes. I really didn't give a shit about likes. I don't get, like, obviously on YouTube I do, I wasn't posting on that Facebook for likes. I was posting to kind of, I was actually posting to kind of, I wanted to spit truth, but I was also trying to trigger people, because there was a lot of like social justice warriors on there, and I knew they would. I was literally, just a lot of friends from back in Ireland, social justice warriors, leftists, and all this. And but the interesting thing is, a lot of people would DM me and say, "Oh yeah, I fully agree with you," and all this. But they're too pussified to even like your comment or whatever. That's how pussified people are. They're not even don't even have the balls to like a comment or something. It's fucking hilarious. Yeah, so C. Joel says, accepting experts and specialists is one thing. Mass immigration is a total other. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. And I don't think it's a good thing. Every country should kind of have the chance to progress in a natural way. You know, if you know if a large amount of immigrants come at one time, it will definitely there'll definitely be culture clashes, and you know, I don't know, just it kind of decimates the home country's culture. Like I said, I'm here in Japan. It'd be weird. It'd be weird if like suddenly like 100,000 Irish people came to Japan. It would be like I would hate that. That would be really you know, I came to Japan because it's like it's different. I want to go somewhere it's like different. Um, let me see. I want to share something else. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this chick is just she's such a joke. She's such a like hysterical, like one of the worst kind of hysterical feminists. Anyway, she says, angry at the idea of a curfew for men. Think of all the ways women are told to adapt. Policing both formal and informal of females' bodies is so normalized it's no longer shocking unless the same standards are applied to men. I don't know. So from curfews to criminalizing ejaculation, it's time to regulate men. And these people are dead serious. This is so. Should men be allowed out after 6 p.m.? Probably not, a Green Party peer has said. Introducing a curfew for men would make women a lot safer. Baroness Jenny Jones argued in Britain's House of Lords on Wednesday, in the wake of the horrific suspected kidnapping and murder of Sarah Everard. You know, kidnappings, murders, is bad, obviously terrible, but they always have happened and they always will happen, regardless of curfews. Just the idea of suggesting men should have a curfew at 6 p.m. is frightening. It's scary to think that these, you know, filthy commies would love to get their way. That's why like this womanism is so repulsive. It's all about restriction. It's all about trying to destroy freedoms. They're actually such repulsive scumbags. They need to be called out as dirty, disgusting, repulsive, cowardly scumbags. Because they're all about trying to, you know, just take away our freedoms, get us locked up for saying hello to a girl. They're trying to, like, you know, actually criminalize cold approach. Like, these women actually are trying to do that. As you can imagine, large numbers of men and a fair few women promptly had a meltdown at this suggestion. Yeah, obviously. Nigel Farage tweeted that it was an example of the left being deranged. Yes, and he would be right. Meanwhile, Mark Drakeford, the Welsh First Minister, described the idea of male curfews as a sad distraction when what's needed is a proper discussion about women's safety and why a woman is killed every 3 days by a man in the UK. Boys, calm down, please. Here we go with the condescending tone. Let's not get hysterical here. Let's not get hysterical. And we like have you ever seen like these women when Trump got elected? That's hysteria right there. Nobody seriously really thinks a curfew for men is a good idea. Well, okay, well that's news to me, because I'm sure you would actually love it if that was the case. Not least because almost 1 in 3 women in the UK will experience domestic abuse in her lifetime, and women are far more likely to be killed by a partner than a stranger. So it's not like keeping men in the house after 6 p.m. would make women safe. Jones was doing this little thing called pointing out double standards. As Jones later clarified, and it's pretty depressing that she had to clarify this, her remarks were not a serious policy proposal. Rather, they were a response to the fact that London police have advised women not to go out alone after Everard's disappearance, and no one seemed to bat an eyelid. I mean, you know, if the police advise women not to go out because like there's a serial killer out there, um, that's pretty understandable. As long as it's not imposed, uh, people need to have free choice, but these womanists are all about taking away free choice from men, and from everyone really. We're used to women's freedom. We're used to women's freedoms and women's bodies being up for debate. You see, we're used to women being told to modify our behavior as a reaction to male violence. Well, apparently, in domestic abuse cases, women are the ones that are more likely to initiate the physical violence, but obviously men are stronger, and so it can be more, deadly when when used in retaliation. Women may not be under a formal curfew, but you only need to look at the disgusting victim blaming that went on with Sarah Everard to see that we're under an informal one. Why was she out at 9:30 at night? Why did she walk home instead of taking a cab? What did she expect? Our freedom of movement after dark may not be restricted by the government, but we often don't have the freedom to fully relax. We regulate our behavior automatically. We keep our keys in our hands. We stay on high alert. We pay extra to take a cab because we're worried about walking home. Street harassment is so common we brush it off as nothing. After all, it's not like there's anything we can do about it anyway. As a recent letter to The Guardian pointed out, you can be fined for dropping litter in the UK, but not for harassing a woman or girl in public. So here you go. Here you go. These girls, these womanists, they want to criminalize men for being men and doing a cold approach, like asking a girl, hey, what's up? Like your style? Let's have a coffee sometime. Something as natural as that. They would love to have this criminalized. They really would. I'm not even exaggerating that. And if men didn't do that, the human race would die out. It literally would die out. Or about 5 to 10% of men would would be the ones that are they would be the only ones genetically spreading their seeds. That's a fact, because women do not most women do not approach men under any circumstances. They don't even want to. It's not in their nature. They don't want to have to be the man and man up and do an approach. It's like a big turnoff for a woman to have to do that. It's like when in sex, if a woman, you'll often hear women say that if they have to tell a man how to pleasure her, it's the most repulsive thing to them. It's like they're having to school their sex partner. It's a turn off for them. So it's the same thing with approaches. It's if they like a guy, if they see this guy that's attractive and he doesn't approach her and she has to go and approach him, that's a big turn off. You know what I mean? But these scumbags, these dirty womanists want to criminalize men for just being men. And there's nothing sinister about a man. There was absolutely nothing sinister about what I did today when I just when I did a cold approach. It was the most casual thing ever. We just had this little bit of an eye contact, and I said, hey, do you speak English? She said no. I said, oh well, I like your style, and I got her number or whatever. It was just simple, But I guarantee if I told that story to the author of this shit piece, she would say, "Oh yeah, I'm a misogynist," or worse than that, she'd probably call me a criminal. Such a dirtbag. I hate these people. Women's bodies are public property in a way that men's bodies aren't. Our rights are up for debate in a way that men's rights aren't. Our rights are, yeah, but just like men are just treated like shit by every publication on the planet and every media source. Just this week, Arkansas has banned nearly all abortions in the state, with no exceptions for rape or incest. One imagines many of the same sort of people who think that the government should be able to force a woman to carry her rapist child in her body for 9 months would balk at the idea of the government telling a man he couldn't go out at night. So, the thing is, when society becomes polarized and we have these like insane, womanists and leftists, there's going to be a reaction to that. And the reaction to that, it can be just as like, extreme, but kind of on the right, where, they would do something like, ban all abortions, even in the case of rape or incest. But that's a reaction to the extreme, things that, it's kind of like fight fire with fire. Like it's kind of, these are extreme reactions to hysterical leftism. So it's like, fuck that hysterical leftism. We're just gonna completely ban it, just to get back at them. It's kind of like revenge, just because like there's so much insane. Like I think in New York, women can get abortions up to like birth or something, like, or literally they can birth a baby and then just kill the baby. So that's like, so that's so repulsive. And it's like, fuck these fuckers, basically. So we're gonna like ban it. Like we're just gonna like that. We're gonna have an extreme reaction to it. So even in the case of like rape or incest, we're gonna like ban an abortion or whatever, or make it illegal. And in my opinion, that's unreasonable, but but not surprising at all. The policing, both formal and informal, of female bodies is so normalized that, as Jones noted, we often don't bat an eyelid at it anymore, unless, of course, those same standards are applied to men. Jones isn't the first lawmaker to try to turn the tables to make a point. In 2018, a Georgia lawmaker responded to a restrictive new abortion law with a testicular bill of rights, proposing, among other things, that men get permission from their sexual partners before obtaining erectile dysfunction medication. In 2012, a group of 6 female lawmakers similarly proposed bills regulating men's access to reproductive health. One suggestion: any action in which a man ejaculates or otherwise deposits semen anywhere but in a woman's vagina shall be interpreted and construed as an action against an unborn child. Okay, so this is the cultural war that's going on. Like these extreme, like, this is the, tit for tat kind of thing that is actually going on because of these dirty scumbags. And it really is, like, to be honest, it really is the leftists and the progressives that are poking the angry giant kind of thing. Because, when they're obviously trying to humiliate men by getting them to have to sign get their partners to sign documents in order for them to obtain erectile dysfunction medication, which is like, it's obviously a medical issue for some men. It's not to be like made fun of, but just insane stuff where they're just basically looking for a fight, and they're gonna get it. hopefully. I don't think the idea of a male curfew is a distraction at all. Rather, I reckon the men who are so outraged by the concept ought to take a moment and think about how outrageous the policing of female bodies is. If you're up in arms about the idea of a male curfew, perhaps you should think critically about why you're not as angry about all the ways in which women are told to adapt their behavior in response to male violence. Well, these societies are basically Western society is it's a gynocentric society. It's been females are basically responsible for the education of most of the society. Most teachers are females. So who's raising up these the population? It's mostly females. And if they're raising violent men, why are men becoming violent? Because men are becoming hopeless. Men don't have much hope because there's just so much. There's not much hope for men, for a large portion of men, because when it comes to dating, they just don't see a hope. Like they just it just is. There's just no. They just can't access well, they don't see any chance. And they're surrounded by this, all this blue pill shit, and then they just explode in rage. So Tashuvna Anand Shishir becomes Bangladesh's first transgender. Oh, is this? I don't know. Okay, no, this is other another article. But yeah, there you have it. Trying to just get trying to just impose new insane laws on men because there are murderers and rapists out there, which are never going to go away, because that is just unfortunate. That's an unfortunate side of human human nature, and there's always going to be bad apples out there, bad actors. Even in a society as safe as Japan, obviously there's cases where there's murder cases, but it doesn't mean you're gonna lock down the society or make curfews for men. And I don't know, the most ironic thing about all this shit is this woman here is a woman that would say that men and women are the exact same. I guarantee she has that opinion that women are just capable as men, we're just the same. Yeah, if men and women are just the same, why is there a curfew? Why should there only be a curfew for men? And why are they always criticizing men? Why are men violent? Why are men violent and why are women not violent if we're the same? I just don't get it. It's just there's so many contradictions in the leftist ideology. Farhan in the house. Hello, AdMac. Hello. Oh, Maritas. What is up, man? What is good? Gabriel E says she ain't getting harassed. Exactly. No one is harassing this girl. It's funny because women will complain when they're in their peak beauty years about getting approached or whatever, getting hit on. And then when they hit the wall, they start getting hysterical and start saying, "Where have all the good men gone?" Because no one's they're not getting enough attention anymore. And it's just hilarious. The only attention they're getting is from their cats, and they better get used to it. They better get used to it because, let's say, my opinion, women reach their peak. They're at their most beautiful. Their peak sexual migrant years are 18 to 23. I'm dead serious. I'm not even trying to be funny. I genuinely think that. I I think women are they can still be beautiful after 20. Of course they can, but they weren't. They're not going to be as beautiful as they were when they were 21. They're just not. Like it's not. So um, certainly by 30, they should have already locked down a guy or tried to. You know, and obviously there's cases where you know unfortunately they even if they do try, they don't have a chance to actually find a good partner. But that should be like rare cases. But these days women just focus on their, they think that they call them careers when they're actually just working jobs, like shitty office jobs. They think that's more important than raising, a family and having a husband. Because like I said, they better get used to the cats because it's going to be it's a long life. It's like the kind of attention they receive in their, early 20s, even up to late 20s, but, like 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, because obviously women live, especially with modern medicine and all that, like women will probably, millennial women will probably live to 90, 100 at least. Like, that's a long life. Like, they're gonna, and they, there's probably never been that many single women in like human history, um, that are gonna be, that are like women my age. Like I'm 32. Like women my age are just like slamming into the wall right now. Um, they already have, to be honest. Like especially Western women, and they're just like, they don't like. The thing is, they do know. They're just so. There's just delusion is the word. Delusion. They think that that they have this career, as I say, career, when they're actually just working some shitty job in some company, earning like what 40 to 50,000 a year. Doing this like crappy jobs. Don't mean people have to work. I mean, but they they shot themselves in the foot. Because obviously, when women have to women have to work too, the salaries for men all will go down because that's what's happened. That's why most men can't support they wouldn't be able to support a family. They wouldn't be able to be the breadwinner because the salaries have gone down because women have entered the workforce, as women have entered male spaces. Now they're gonna have to pull up their socks and get involved, and they're gonna have to work because that's what they wanted, right? So let's give it to them. Let them at it. Um, Spark 55 says, "Can't wait for this bitch to hit the wall, dude." She has definitely hit the wall already. She has definitely hit the wall, no doubt about that. I don't know. She's probably I don't know what age she is, but she's probably I don't know, 30. Let me check. I wonder how old she is. Google search will probably. She might have a Wikipedia, but no, she is like 100%. I don't know. I can't see a wiki on her. And then you probably hide their ages and shit. No, she's not coming up. But yeah, undoubtedly she has just hit the wall. She's gonna have a yeah, she's gonna have a lot. The funny thing is, she is not the exception. She's like the normal. This is normal Western women. So honestly, guys, if you can get out, like if you can travel to outside a Western country, I would do it. Um, at least try. Uh, Taj in House says this Arwa chick is a confirmed misandrous feminist. All she does is write articles to belittle men. Yeah, she's real scumbag. Real scumbag. C. Joel says, "Mate, don't get me started on Asian Aussies." Oh man, I don't know. Asian Aussie. Spark 55. Yup, lots of Aussie girls are entitled, even some of the migrant ones. I don't know. Like, I've only had really bad experiences with Australian women. Like, I haven't even I don't even. I've never hooked up with an Australian woman, but um, just from even meeting them in bars or clubs, or just like really repulsive, kind of like they were just really repulsive. They're so unfriendly. They're just so rude. They're just so condescending. Just all the worst traits, like the most obnoxious. Just did not like being around them. Um, did not at all. Uh, see, Joel says, but I'm in Sydney and it's so shit. Yeah, I'd like to go and see it, but I'm just saying that I heard. Yeah, even one of my Australian friends here, he just says like he's here in Japan and it says like a million times better here. Like it doesn't, and he's like me. He's like we're still like we still think I don't discriminate when it comes to women. I mean, I can be attracted to like women of any race as long as they're hot. But it's just the numbers like in Japan and in the personality of Western women, Western culture. It's just seriously repulses me. It's not into it. Um, just the just the it makes me sick. I mean, today it was funny. It just reminded me of how feminine and cute Japanese girls are. And I don't want to simp for them, but like they're still women. They can still be annoying. But we're in the park, and one of my mates, his Jer, he's Brazilian dude, but he was doing pull ups, and he was about to start, and these two girls like came in, and there was like another pull up bar beside us, and they tried to do one, and they couldn't even do one. Like so, they were so feminine and weak, but it was so funny. And then they looked over, and my friend said, he looked over and he says, like, count, look at me, I'll show you how to do it. And like they just he told them to count how many he does, and so the two girls are just standing there while he's doing pull-ups, and they're just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's like so like I just said like there is no way on earth a Western girl would do that. Like would stand there like and they were so happy and they were so just smiling and like they didn't see it as being I don't know, they're just so feminine. Like they're just some of they're mostly just sweet, kind of innocent, but a Western girl would be like, she thinks she is too good for that, or she think she'd be embarrassed to do it, or she think, oh, like I don't know. It's just a constant battle with Western women. But over here, it's not like that, and it's not just Japan. It's like most countries, most non-English speaking countries, you're just gonna have a much better dating experience. Um, yeah, but I don't know. It is what it is. You got to work you got to work with what you have. Da, 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 da. Yeah. So anyway, on a better note, I'm gonna show you some uh, hot Japanese chick. Let me get it up. All right. Today's girl is Mika. Mika's a hottie. There's so many of them. It'd be nice to live in a country. Yeah, man, I can't wait for summer when it gets really warm in Japan because there's these like outdoor there's these like night pools where you can go. It's kind of like a party, and you can go to yeah, whatever, night pools, and there's a bar, and there'd be like, I'm not even kidding you, there'll be chicks this hot in the pools. Yeah, maybe not as revealing, but wearing bikinis, it's unbelievable. when they open up, when I'm gonna take photos and I'll show you guys. You're gonna want to come to Japan after seeing it. My mate actually, I haven't actually been, but my mate Jer was telling me, and I'm definitely gonna be going. But yeah, imagine also these women are so hot, and they don't have that like obnoxious, condescending attitude. You can approach these girls, and even if they're not really into you, like they'll still be polite. They're not gonna sure, some of them might be a bit rude, but they're not gonna tell you to fuck off, or they're not gonna call the police on you or anything like that. It's just it's a good place to be. Let me see. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, make women feminine again. But yeah, it's not really going to happen in Western society. It'll be a long time before that happens. But yeah, guys. It is I've been going for about an hour. So Taj Sid says Cyber Japan chicks are hot. Yes, they are indeed. They're really hot. Farhan says Tom Torero used to say that it is very difficult to dig in Japan if you don't have a skill set. As long as you have, as long as you can speak a little bit of Japanese, it'll be a lot easier. Because most Japanese can't speak much English. And the girl I dig in today, she couldn't speak a lick of English. But and if I wasn't able to speak Japanese, I would have missed her. But no, it's not very difficult at all. If you have a little bit of skill, you can do it. Gabriel says no tattoos shows value. Yeah, tattoos. I mean, they can be hot, but they're definitely a red flag. It's not dating material. Nice try, Governor says, I already do want to come to Japan. Hit me up, bro. I'll tell you all about it. It's a good time. Not a bad place to be. Honestly say there's probably there's nowhere else I'd really want to be. I was just saying to MLD today, if I was going to go somewhere, if I had to leave Japan for some reason, I'd probably go to China. I probably would jump to the winning team. But yeah, guys, as usual, like, comment, subscribe, check out the links in the description. Yeah. So I will be back tomorrow night for another episode of Player Life. All right, guys, peace out. Bye-bye.